Hey guys, Bryden Coles here from Back on Track Fitness, here with the amazing James Cairns.
Amazing.
The amazing, the fantastical, whatever, like some mythical creature. Look at him, the physique is amazing. So we're here to talk to you about how to stay motivated, how to stay upbeat, and how to stay fulfilled. And also the impact of sleep on you achieving your results, because there are many things. We're all very busy. We're all very busy in life. You know, we all have, if it's not businesses, we've got kids, we've got study, all these sort of things coming into it. But how do we actually live a fulfilling and, you know, really rewarding sort of life? Because I know a lot of us miss that. I know a lot of our members, there's nearly 500 of us over our 2 studios, do really struggle with how to prioritize yourself to some certain degree. So that's some things we're going to talk to you about, and James is going to definitely share his expertise. James is an IFBB Pro physique model. Doesn't want to say fitness model, beauty queen. Nah, he's a body. He likes bodybuilder. It's more masculine. He's been in this sort of shape for about 8 years. But I think he's the sort of guy on Instagram that has thousands of followers and that sort of thing. But I think the really impressive thing is you don't see behind the scenes. He's still able to operate up to 4 businesses, works 80+ hour weeks, and stays in this sort of shape. So, I mean, something I'm definitely envious of, because, you know, we do similar hours and that sort of thing. But how we're going to pick his brains today, see how to keep the ball rolling and how to bust through those excuses. So I guess, James, tell us, firstly, let's get the ball rolling. You know, what has been what's a quick story about your background and how you got into bodybuilding and all that, and then who you deal with on the day-to-day, and then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of it all.
Man, really, like how I started with everything. I was like a young kid, you know, went to Kings. We actually went to school together. He used to beat me up. So I was at school, Kings in Sydney, big rugby school. Got up to year 11 and 12, blew both my knees out. So I did that, couldn't play footy. There goes any career, like prospects, anything like that. So I was like, well, if I can't play footy, I'm going to get big. You know what I mean? Schoolies was fast approaching. You got schoolies down here in Melbourne, right?
I believe that.
Well, schoolies there, or school leavers, whatever you want to call it, where everyone, we all went up to the Gold Coast and got drunk. Well, I didn't, but that was the plan of it. Get out there in a singlet top, 18 years old, beach, girls, all that sort of stuff. And I was like, well, I'm going to get big for that. And that was actually how my bodybuilding started.
That's the motivation behind the man.
That was it. A lot of extrinsic motivation there, a lot. And so that's pretty much how I started, just lifting, and then I got picked up by a couple of people saying, you know, you can do well at this, have a go. And that was how I got into bodybuilding. Won a few shows, started traveling with it, and then, you know, eventually, you know, somehow turned professional. I was 20 years old at the time, which is pretty cool, because I got to travel all over the world and then competing against, you know, some of the world's best and beating a fair few of the world's best, which is pretty cool. Up until, you know, the moment where I crashed and burned. I was probably working, I was training 6 hours a day, sleeping 4 hours a night, not a good ratio there, and then the rest of the time I was just working, just building up my business, making, you know, money was cool, but like, you know, my health really suffered. And so that really led me on a path of finding out how to balance health, balance everything out, because that's key. I mean, we've been talking, Brian and I before this, been talking really, really closely about how, like, you guys, the biggest issue that you have is with maintaining that balance, and it's really, really hard to fit in that time for fitness and for your health. And I think that's really, really important to make sure that we actually get a good grasp of that, because when you make sure you got balance, you'll always stay motivated. You will find that fulfillment, you will find that health and the happiness all in one.
Absolutely. I think James and I definitely agree that you got to sharpen the axe before you cut down the forest, and I think that's definitely a point a lot of us, a lot of our clients and members here, and a lot of your clients and members probably as well. James runs a couple of online businesses. That's what people forget. If you're not working efficiently and getting through your stuff, because you're just not as sharp as what you could be mentally, physically, emotionally, then you're just not going to be anywhere near as efficient. And like a 1 hour task might take you 3 hours, and then it's sort of, you know, you sort of tumble out of control. So beautiful. All right, James, let's jump straight into it, because I know you're on a tight schedule. You're a busy man. You've got lots of Melbourne to go around and see. Talk to us about how the average person, the average mum and dad who's got a couple of kids, works a full-time job, how you would help them get motivated, stay upbeat, and live a fulfilling life while looking after themselves, not just everybody else in their life, which they tend to do.
That's the biggest thing. I mean, we talked about this before, didn't we? About how most people, if you've got a couple of kids, you've got a mortgage, you've got a full-time job, you're never worrying about yourself, you're worrying about everyone else. The most important thing you can do is look after yourself. Remember, if your health is not 100%, you can't look after everyone else as what you could. Let's think about how crap you feel on 4 hours sleep. I mean, we've all done those hours of, those nights with 4 hours sleep. It sucks, doesn't it?
10 p.m. leave work, back at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Trying to play footy, VFL.
Yeah.
Didn't last too long.
No, you don't last
Crash
too
and burn.
long. Funny that.
A lot of people out there, I know, you're probably watching this, would be a very similar state to that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what, you get up at 6, you try and fit in some sort of fitness work, and then you go and you're getting the kids ready off to school, go to work, pick kids up from school, go back to work, do that
routine,
sort of thing.
that monotonous routine.
Exactly. The most important thing is you actually get to the gym. Make sure you come in here. I assume that most people who are listening are members here at Back on Track.
It will be members
Make
or
your
people
session.
looking at dipping their toe in and getting started. So what would you say for someone who's stuck in that day-to-day routine? What's the most important thing to maybe focus on? Like what should be a trigger in your life to make this change?
Get in the session. That's the first thing you need to do. Get in the session. If you can't do it yourself, get someone else to help you do it. And don't say, oh yeah, I'll start it next week, because you're not going to. Let's be honest. If you just do it today, get it in there, get it started immediately. The next one is make a plan. Make sure that you've got a crystal clear plan on how to get yourself from A to B. So right now, if you're unhappy with the way that you look, the way that you feel, the way that you're acting, the way that your life is going, if you're unhappy with that, you're at point A. You want to get to point A, which is this, utopian paradise where your life is fantastic, you're happy, you love your partner, you have a great sex life, you've got awesome kids, you're feeling awesome, all that sort of stuff. And that's your point B. You need to have a plan on how to get to point B. The most common thing which is missing, the most common reason why people can't get to point B is health. Okay? Right now, the chances are that you're not sleeping well. Most people do not sleep well. The majority of Australians identify with having crap sleep. I mean, most people will say that their sleep is crap. Not even just bad, but really, really sucky.
So that's like not being able to get to sleep, not waking up especially between 3 and 5 a.m., which is like stress related directly. So finding people's whys, and then also the sleep patterns that go into that getting the ball rolling. Okay, so you're talking about point A to point B. What would a sort of plan you'd like to set up for someone that might be watching out there? What should they look at setting up to help them get there?
Yeah, the most important one to begin with is nutrition. Okay? When you want to lose fat, for example, you can go to the gym and you can go work out for an hour. You'll burn a couple of hundred calories. If you get home and then have a Mars bar straight away, you have negated that whole gym session. Exercise is not the most effective way to lose weight. Now, don't take that from me saying.
Don't say.
It's not saying that it's not important, but if you're just banking on exercise alone as your method to losing weight, it's probably not going to happen. Because you're going to go do that session, you're like, oh, I worked out, I feel good now, I've earned this treat, and you're going to eat something, and you're going to put that same number of calories that you burned back in. Remember, if you want to lose fat, it's all about making sure that you burn more calories than what you put into your body. Okay? We're going to need to be really, really clear on that. So that's the first thing. Remember that nutrition's key. Get a plan for your nutrition, get some guidance on it, and make sure that you've got something written down that you can follow every single day.
So you're talking a nutrition plan?
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Nutrition plan. So I know a lot of the people out here probably know about calories. Do you want to go into a bit more detail? Because you've just given us my staff a 2-hour lecture talk about how our hormones and neurotransmitters are. We're not going to get that deep into it here.
Yes.
Do you want to just give us a brush overview of how calories are used for weight loss, and what are some of the pitfalls that most people out there fall into when they're looking to start a weight loss program?
Yeah, gotcha. Most common pitfall, we'll start with that first. It's just not having a plan. Not having a crystal clear plan. You need to be crystal clear on how to get from point A to point B. You need to have a plan mapped out, because guess what? As soon as you don't understand what you're doing, as soon as you get confused about what is going on, and you're not sure what you should be doing versus what you are doing, you're not sure what's the difference there, that's when things go wrong. That's when you start overeating. That's when you start consuming too many calories. Get a plan. First thing first. Get a plan and stick to it, okay? The next thing after that is making sure that you can think long term. It's not about dieting for a week or having one meal. Some people think, oh, I ate salad today, when am I gonna lose fat? Not gonna happen. It's a long-term thing. Losing 12, 15 kilos, like, I mean, I look up on that wall over there, all those people have lost in excess of like 10, 15 kilos. That's incredible.
Up to 60, 100,
Up to 60.
124.
That's massive, 124 kilos. That didn't happen overnight, did it?
No, about 3 years.
3 years, exactly. So it needs to be a long-term process. A good way to gauge how long it's going to take. What we normally go off is roughly 1% of your body weight per week, something like that. Okay. If you have a lot more to lose and you need to be losing for a longer period of time, like 124, you're going to need to go at roughly 0.3% of your body weight per week, something like that, which I think works out pretty much bang on.
Yeah, it would work. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. So, okay, so you've got this point B in your head, your ideal lifestyle. Obviously, as you've said, it's not a lot to do about your actual physical change. It's a lot about the mental, the spiritual awareness of why you actually want to get there. So, what are things you go to help someone understand what their why is behind actually wanting to achieve that? Because as we know, motivation comes and goes.
Yeah.
Like it comes and goes. Maybe not like a robot like this guy that can just do it and he just does it. You know, for me, like, you know, motivation's it's a bit of a trend word. But how does someone actually go, right? I'm here. This is what my life I want it to look like. How do we find those main reasons? Like,
yeah, so you need to be really true to yourself with this whole thing. In the end of the day, and this is going to sound really weird, but nobody actually cares if they lose weight, if they've got abs. There is no inherent value in that.
That's huge, because everyone starts with weight loss as their number one or two goal.
Yeah.
Weight loss. It's all about weight loss and fitting clothes and feeling good and looking good in photos.
But that's the thing. It's about feeling good and looking good. And who is giving you the validation for that? It's external people. So it's trying to fit in, which is perfectly normal. Everyone these days has this thing like, be the wolf, be the lone wolf, be strong, be your own person. It's like, well, no, you want to fit into a pack. We've evolved that way. Like, it's literally ingrained into us. Yeah, exactly. We want to be a part of something. And the reason why this generally starts is because we want to feel accepted. I started bodybuilding for that. I wanted to be accepted by lots of girls up on the Gold Coast. You know what I mean? That was how it all started for me. And it's perfectly normal and it's cool to do that. And recognizing that's actually really, really awesome, because then you think, okay, well, this is what I'm doing it for.
So the real why.
Yeah.
So they're watching this, they're probably thinking their real why is probably so that, yeah, as you said, more sex life, better relationships, not be so, I guess, bitchy to your kids, or be more understanding of what your kids are going
Be a
through.
role model for your kids.
Absolutely.
We talk with a lot of people, like, that's really, really super important. I mean, when I have kids, I adore kids, like, I really want to have kids, like, that's a big thing for me. And I know, like, when I have my kids, I want to be someone that my kids can look to and be like, I want to be like Dad. I want to be exactly like Dad. I want to be big, strong, you know what I mean? Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a really, really massive thing. So thinking about why, because if you have that real core motivation reason and you're dead clear that this is why you want to do it, and that is in your head every single day, you're not going to screw up. I mean, why would you screw up? Why would you take yourself from right now where you're at point A and you're unhappy and your kids aren't proud of you, when you can get to point B where you are happy, you feel great, your life's great, you're having lots of sex. Let's be honest, that's a big joke. Sex, awesome.
It's a good part. It's a good part of it all.
And then on top of that, your kids look up to you. They adore you. Think they're awesome. You're like, wow, you know, my dad, my mum lost 50 kilos. They can do it. They stuck to this thing for an extended period of time. That is what's going to keep you on track. For this external goal of losing weight, you don't really. Well, I mean, maybe you in part care of it because of the reasons behind it, but for you, it doesn't matter. Like, really, abs, like, they don't matter to me. You know what I mean?
It's a flat. You want to wear a nice shirt. That's about it. What about well, I mean, like a stat that I throw around a lot because it's so relevant to the mums and dads I deal with is 80% of kids with big parents end up big adults themselves, and that.
Yeah.
So the obesity epidemic that is Australia, that just rolls on, cycles on. So, I mean, yeah, if your kids are a good reason and to be a good motivating factor for you, might be, yeah, hey, look, if I'm in shape, my kids are going to really, they're going to follow suit. They're going to teach them healthy lifestyles, and if they factor, your kids should be healthier people from doing that. Perfect. All right, so someone's going along quite nicely. Point A, smooth, it's happening, things are going well. A couple of months into it, let's say they got a 12-month goal, it might be 20, 25 kilo weight loss. Things start slowing down, self-sabotage comes into it, like you're going really well one day and suddenly you just can't be bothered. Things are going great, you can't complain.
Yeah.
What's going on? Why in your experience is this happening, and what can people do to actually fix this?
Yeah, a lot of people are anxious, nervous, and seeing change is quite stressful. So what is stress actually is the definition of the stress. It's some sort of factor which causes a change within the body. And with that, the body itself losing fat, making progress, and actually heading towards point B can be stressful because it is a change. You are outside of your comfort zone.
And that set point as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, won't go into that, but set points.
Yeah, and it's quite stressful, and so it's quite common to get to the point and actually want to go back to how you were because you're comfortable there. The other thing too is that it gets hard. The longer you diet, the harder it gets. Because you're constantly putting change on the body. The body is a unique system in that it always wants to go back to its set point, as you just referenced there. It's got a comfortable point, and it always wants to return back to that point where it is comfortable. And if you let it,
it will
go straight back there. You start eating KFC and all that other rubbish.
Not bad once in a while, but probably not as much as you want to.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. So beautiful. So we've covered motivation, we've covered how to be fulfilled in that sort of sense, the reasons why you're doing it. Let's talk a bit about sleep. So I know a lot of people out there really do struggle with sleep. It's common, common to have at least one or two very unstable nights throughout the week. What are some of the main factors that everyday people, mums and dads, even families go through, what they experience daily that can really impact on sleep?
Yeah, first of all, it's like the sun. Sun is super, super important. If you see anything I post on social media, you'll see literally every single week I'm referencing
JFC coaching.
That's it. JCF.
JCF.
KFC. Different
KFC. Just wanted to say
JCF coaching. So if you see anything I post up on social media, you see I always talk about the sun. The sun is so important. I mean, let's think of that time, like through the summer days, you're out, you're at the beach, you're water skiing, doing whatever.
It's hard to feel miserable when that's happening.
Exactly.
It's hard
you
to
feel
feel
great.
miserable.
And how good do you sleep at the end of the day?
Just thinking about it, I'm feeling amazing.
It's just because you're next to me.
It is. It's got an aura. It's like it's sunlight or something. I don't know. So vitamin D is obviously a big impact on that.
Big one.
Big
one.
impact
Even
on that.
beyond that, man, it's literally just the UV. You just feel good. You know that feeling the sun's on your skin?
Get all
And
warm
just warm. And I was like, I know it sounds a little bit reptilian saying that, but just feeling it on your skin, your bones just feel good and you just feel awesome from that. Get that feeling. That's what you need.
So you said it's UV. It's not necessarily sunlight. So so if it's cloudy, like it's always cloudy and cold in here in Melbourne. So no one wants to go outside.
Get out, go up north, just
Go
across the border.
Across the border. Right, migrate to New South Wales. Not a bad port. It can work. So even just being outdoors, nature, fresh air, that sort of thing.
That sort of thing. Get out. We're never out enough. In this modern society where we're cooped up in offices 9 to 5, we're rarely outside. Get out more. Get active. Get exercising. The next thing is getting to the gym. How much better do you sleep after a session? Make sure you make your session. Make that a priority. Because remember, you can't look after other people unless you look after yourself. And you need to make sure you get into this gym because you'll just feel so much better after it. You will have achieved your goal. You get an endorphin rush from exercising. And then also you know that you've stuck to your plan. So make sure you hit your sessions. Don't miss a thing. Stick to it. And your willpower will build. And on top of that, you're going to be more relaxed, ready to wind down for sleep instead of sitting up at night thinking, I really should have gone to the gym and I shouldn't have ate
guilt, and then the stress goes up and
exactly.
Then you think, why bother tomorrow? 2 points on that. Obviously, you're setting a great example for your kids. We come in here and kids come to Kids Fit and the parents do it with them, and it's an amazing. Like these kids actually get excited to come to the gym.
That's awesome.
So that's really incredible. But also, just the fact that you are getting releasing those endorphins and stuff.
Yeah.
Such a great feeling, and each time you do that, well, it's a check in the right box. You can be grateful that you've actually been to the gym, and that old self-esteem muscle, what am I looking for? not self-esteem, the that willpower muscle just gets a bit stronger and a bit stronger each time.
Yeah.
All right, so talk to us about some of the things that would be impacting on your sleep right now.
Right now,
So,
I think that the most prominent thing is social media and being on the phone.
so
You
blue
agree?
light,
Blue light,
being
screen.
needing to see what's going on in everyone else's life.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's twofold. The blue light you referenced, and then also the other thing is just the social anxiety. Just keeping up with the Joneses is the big thing. You see all these, fake, by the way, all these personas on Instagram.
Jesus. How often do you meet people in your space?
I know a lot of them.
So this guy rubs shoulders with a lot of the guys that everyone looks through and goes, shit, I wish I looked like them. How many of these people out there just like completely not living the life they show they are?
You'd be amazed. I'm like, I know you're broke. I know you're broke. I know you're broke. And it's crazy. So that's a big thing. Quite funny. Well, not quite funny. It's actually quite sad. In one way, it is kind of funny. Just the how ingenuine people can be. It just makes me laugh. But at the same time, it's quite sad that we're so insecure now as a society.
Don't compare yourself to these people.
Yeah, just get it off. And before bed even, through the day, do what you like. If you enjoy doing that and you want to watch the Kardashians, then great, go do that, you know what I mean?
Maths, I think that's the latest trend.
Yeah, yeah. I've never seen it.
Haven't you?
I've heard of it.
Oh, mate, episode finished. Like Sunday's the last episode, mate. Get on it.
Really?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, all right. I'll probably look at it.
Jenna loved it. May have watched a couple. It's alright. It's good drama. We don't have a lot of drama in our life. So.
Yeah, that's how you get a bit. It's better than having your own. But yeah, get the phone off.
Get the phone off.
Get the TV off as well.
What did you say? How many hours a day do people spend in front of the screen?
8 hours a day.
8 hours. Shit. So
8
is this just
hours.
all at work, or is this like on phones and social media and all that?
Everything, man. The whole lot.
Okay, James, I don't have time for this, but I spend 8 hours a day in front of it.
I know, isn't that funny, huh? You can manage to find time to sit on your phone and look at so-and-so's butt on Instagram, you know what I mean, or the new
Not
car.
referencing anyone there.
No, of course, no, we don't call out names.
Nah.
But yeah, so there's all that time to do this stuff on social media, and then you say, oh, we don't have time for to get into the gym.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to values, and like actually taking a good hard look at finding
another
what
podcast.
your values are.
That's another
That is
podcast.
another podcast, man.
We could talk about this for hours. How long you got? You're back on it. There's no values. All right. Let's touch on that because there will be something I'll be doing a bit later on another episode. But values. All right. What are values, James?
Values are things that you prioritize in life in a certain order. The higher the value, the higher the priority. So, for example, with you right now, if you choose to do something else before going to the gym, before getting down to back on track, before turning up for your session, that thing has a higher value in your life than the other.
Higher
than
importance.
going to the gym. It is more important to you. That's what it is in the end of the day. And we all have 24 hours. Now, people say, I'm locked into my job. I can't get out of my job. I can't do X, Y, Z. I've got my job. It's like, quit it.
Oh, amazing. How many people have come to back on track over the years? I've been in the industry 12 years now, so have had a lot of people lose 20, 30, 40 kilos. And because they've been able to achieve something in their life in one part, like I say there's like three main parts to people's areas. You got your work, you got your family life, so work and study, you got your family or social life, and then there's you, little old you sitting over here. And when little old you doesn't have much going on, and you put it on the back burner, then the other areas tend to struggle.
Yeah.
So if you look after you, what happens?
Everything else gets better.
Exactly. You have the motivation. You have the I guess you're able, because you've stepped out of your comfort zone in one area of your life. You can go do that, quit your job and get another job, and actually, be fulfilled in that area of your life as well.
Yeah.
That's a great point. All right, what are some other hormones in that can stop sleep?
Other things that can stop sleep. Well, excessive stress, obviously. We've all been stressed in our times. And I think the biggest one, actually that's probably the biggest one right now, is just how stressed we are all the time. Because we're not looking after little old me, the three areas. You've got your work, social life, and you, forgetting you. And that's a big way to increase your stress. Bump up your cortisol, you're constantly energetic. I don't know if you've ever got this, but you'll be just chilling all day, you'll be really lethargic and sluggish the whole day, And then come 8 o'clock, bang, your brain's wired all of a sudden. The reason for that, the reason why we suggest that's the case is because you have a regular cortisol rhythm. So cortisol's a hormone which gives you energy and it breaks down muscle and fat, okay? And you've got this big spike up at night before you go to bed, which is telling your brain to be alert, be awake. And that's one really, really massive thing we see, which slows down progress and kills motivation and kills your sleep.
Nothing harder than trying to function the next day.
Big time.
Get up early for the gym, or if you're a night trainer, just actually going to the gym. You haven't slept at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
And then obviously it slows down maybe fat loss and a few other things.
Massively.
Like that.
Massively, and gives you cravings too. I mean, every single time that you have a big night, all right. And let's be honest, they're few and far between for us now. Those days are long
Very
gone.
limited.
But whenever you do, and you get a limited amount of sleep, what do you feel like eating the next day? It's crap. All right. This isn't even when we're talking about when you're drunk. This is just when you're like deprived, sleep deprived.
Absolutely.
The next day, you're just like, I want to sit back on the couch and order Uber Eats and watch TV. That's it. Sleep deprivation's a killer.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, mate. I think that's about it we'll go through today. We'll try and keep it on the 20-minute mark. I know we're pretty close to that. I know James has got things to do and people to see. So, look, you can reach James how?
The easiest way is going to be through Facebook, James Can IFBB Pro, or just send us an email if you need a hand with something, coaching@jcfcoaching.com. They're the two easiest ways just to get in touch. Drop us a message and the team and I are happy to get in touch with you and help you out.
Yeah, beautiful. James, an absolute pro in everything he does, not only on stage, flexing and looking
Easy
all
on
bronzed
eyes.
and beautiful, but
How good a
also,
bloke is this guy?
he's paying me to say, no, he's a fantastic guy, very professional, and he's pretty blunt, so we have to tune it down a little bit for this podcast, but you know, there will be other times we get him on and he'll do a no hold back sort of session. But yeah, dude, thank you very much for your time today. I hope you guys have had some getaway. You can contact him anytime you need. Very knowledgeable guy if you ever have those sort of aspirations, and this guy's honestly your guy. That's about it.
Thank you very much, my man.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
No worries. See you later.
See you later.
I think that was all right.
Yeah, no, that was sweet.